What you're looking at is a line scan photo.
This isn't a picture. That's why the background is kind of blurred here, because the picture is taking anything that's moving.
Right.
So the wall, the line, the racetrack, they're not moving. Those slices kind of get blurred together.
Multiple slices of many photos that all get put together.
This defines where the cars are. And this is the same technology used across many different sporting events.
I think that's a point worth clarifying. This isn't a NASCAR thing. IndyCar uses it, NASCAR uses it, the Kentucky Derby uses it, the Olympics use it. Really anything that tries to determine the winner at a finish line uses this type of technology. The most important part of this is the finish of the race. It's not to be debated or argued. I agree that the start-finish line could be more defined. I agree with all the sentiments that I hear from the fans out there and some of the frustration, but it's clear. So NASCAR has determined that the loops and the transponders will be used to score the field for basically the entire race. The moment in time when it won't be used is any time points are paid. What that means is the top 10 finishes each stage and the overall finish of the race.
We talk about the transponders.
Yeah, let's get into that.
It bolts on to this yellow piece right here.
This is basically the blueprint of the next-gen car. You don't get to put it wherever you want. It's specifically designed. Everybody puts it in the same spot on the Cup car. So basically the transponder is somewhere in here, right behind the rear tire. Why does that matter? Well, let's take you onto the actual racetrack itself. Let's use Kansas. This is an overhead shot. You see the start-finish line, the 1, the 20. Well, you're going to see these cuts in the asphalt.
These two cuts right here, and I'm not going to put it right on top of them. I'm going to go outside of them so that you can kind of see it. But that's a radio antenna. There's a cable built into it, into the racetrack, that when that transponder comes over, it picks up the signal on a transponder. They say, as we talked about it, this is good to like plus or minus 1.5 thousandths of a second.
Yeah.
It's a very finite piece. But when we get to the finishes we've had, this doesn't carry through to what we need.
And why this matters is a couple things. So NASCAR has determined when we're going to use loops, and that is all race long until we pay points, which is the finish of the stages or the finish of the race. We will go back to the high-speed camera. We saw the 17 of Chris Buescher's team basically celebrating. That's because the electronics, the loops, put him in front of Kyle Larson when they crossed the line. After talking to NASCAR, after talking about the plus or minus margins that's available within that technology, I can see how it happened. But then shortly after, and really short, about say a minute or less, NASCAR tells Kyle Larson, you are the winner, the 17 isn't. And that's basically the difference between the electronic timing and scoring and the camera itself. That's really the point of this whole conversation, is the official, just like in the Kentucky Derby, just like in the Olympics, the official is the slow motion high speed camera.